We are recording live here from the Advancing Prefabrication show. Excited to be joined back again for the second year in a row here with Amir and Stuart. Welcome back.
Good.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
it.
Todd.
Yeah.
Excited to be with you today.
Yeah, absolutely. Excited to have this little kind of mini tradition here going on here with Advancing Prefab and talking to you guys. So would love to start with kind of where do you think the prefab and offsite movement has really gone in the last year? Have you seen a lot of movement on the adoption front?
It's a great question because a lot has happened in the past year. I immediately go to, we build up in New England, Northeast, and the energy codes and the increased requirements for high performance envelope has really escalated this opportunity for a prefab wall assemblies because the efficiency and the performance around that.
Yeah.
So it's really around the ecological sustainability, not only about the performance of the envelopes and the systems that go in it, but also we all know about minimizing waste and the efficiency of any kind of offsite construction. It's really played up well.
That's interesting. How do you kind of push the argument forward on the sustainability front? Obviously, that's a huge, keyword and kind of buzzword in the industry right now. But
Sure.
Have you seen people really latch into that of trying to make that a commitment and not just kind of check the box?
So we're based in Massachusetts, and the Commonwealth is aggressively changing their building codes.
Yeah.
So the adoption of, we've been doing a lot of passive house certified projects, and with that, that's all tying into the advanced energy and performance of all the structures that are going to be a requirement in Massachusetts. They're adopting that right now. So it's a matter of time. So these systems are just naturally going to be more efficient. Any cost premiums won't even they'll be negligible, or they'll actually be more efficient than conventional builds.
Yeah. Do you see that movement kind of spreading out to places outside of Massachusetts and, maybe some of the, other geos in the U.S.?
Absolutely. It is a movement, as you mentioned, but with movements, it takes time.
Yeah.
The efficiency and the quality that we get out that we're seeing in the panelized system. So I'm just talking about panelized. I'm talking about offsite right now. But the efficiency, the ability to get the design put in place early on, so that all your penetrations are done in the factory and they're not done in the field, and that's where there's opportunities for air loss and things like that when people are punching through exterior wall systems to put in MEPs, and we find that just makes it more challenging for our field teams.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. Well, what kind of examples have you guys done in the last year or so of really injecting prefab and offsite into all of your methodologies at Windover?
So recently we've been working, we are residents at Autodesk Technology Center in Boston. So we've been utilizing a little more of the leading edge technologies there with additive manufacturing. They were a historic preservation project in one of the prestigious schools in New England, and we combined the laser scanning with additive manufacturing to replicate all the historic preservation elements there with 5-axis routers or 3D printers. And the advantage of this technology is really creating exact replicas and carry over all these components that's really hard to make by hand now, done by hand 100 years ago.
Yeah.
You can create the same with very high quality, same exact replica with digital prefabrication. One of the trends that happened that's new this year, we've been fortunate to utilize Autodesk Tandem, which is a digital twin platform. We've been delivering digital twins to support the sustainability aspects that Stuart was referring to. One of the things we can do we are working at Endicott College now. We are honored to build a lot of buildings there and great partnership. We are utilizing IoT sensors there to give real-time monitoring information that goes back to the digital twin Tandem platform, and that will help them keep track of all the performance of all the mechanical systems, occupancy areas, for two things. To make sure that they are increasing and maximizing comfort for students, because you can keep track of, study all the different areas of the building to support where they can dedicate more energy efficiency in certain areas, as well as support in general bigger sustainability initiative in the future. When they design new buildings, they keep track of when we do next design build, they have historical data of what building types and occupancy rates, and basically combining the hot data, which is the real-time performance of the building components, as well as cold data, which what I call the O&M manual data, the operational information, all the catalogs, all the data about all this equipment in one platform.
So how do you keep up with all that data then, and not get overwhelmed and just drown swimming in a huge data lake?
For years, Todd, we've been delivering Revit files. We end up with a fully coordinated Revit models. It's a standard at Windover for most of our projects. For years, we deliver a Revit file, whether for a prefabricated building or other type of building, any building. And then it end up in someone's computer and the client never uses it because you are not necessarily BIM experts.
Right.
But now, finally, with this digital twin solution in tandem, we can deliver it in an easy to use method so they can make with minimal training. They don't have to be BIM experts to use this information for years to come. If you highlight any building components, architectural or mechanical, it comes with a comprehensive data embedded to it. So for years, digital twin was a buzzword, but really what makes it a real word is the data embedded to it. And finally, we got there, and we're utilizing at Phillips Exeter Academy and the Endicott College.
Yeah.
So he's obviously our innovation guy. He's like dove right into our technology reviews, which is great because it intermeshes with prefab, right?
Sure.
And the planning, and what we're talking about is the result of how we use the technology. I go back to kind of the question that you asked as well about what I'm most excited about is seeing so many more trade partners that are taking on and setting up prefab shops.
Yeah.
MEPs particularly, but there's even at the show yesterday and today, I've been talking to people in regards to all the different disciplines, not just MEP, because that's always been traditional. Wall systems we talked about, but like ceiling systems, they're really trying to figure out how do we make it more efficient and build offsite, which we loved as a construction manager. We love to hear that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So kind of leaning into the technology, then we'll circle back on the cultural side. What technology trends, maybe in addition to the digital twin aspect of it, are you seeing coming into this space? AI's obviously huge, coming off of AU and Autodesk big AI announcement and everything.
Two components with that. We recently collaborated with Autodesk Research, and we've been to support the passive house projects we've been doing. We've been able in Autodesk Fusion to create all these details to support passive house that was not built before. So to develop a deeper understanding of these components to support our field team and our design partners, we're able to build all these components in Fusion and 3D print them. So it's basically like Lego pieces. When you look at it on a screen and a 3D model, that's something. But when you print all these pieces and they develop a deeper understanding, that help the design team. For AI, we've been fortunate in the last year. Windover been partners with leaders in the industry to utilize generative AI and generative design combined to transform building review components, automate processes that takes weeks in a matter of hours. And we've been doing this overseas with clients, and we're looking really to expand on that. And it's all thanks to the generative technology that we utilize Autodesk technology as well to really push the industry forward to save time and let folks focus on what really matters, which is their expertise and reviewing drawings and making dimensions.
Yeah, that's awesome. How have you seen people's reaction to AI coming into construction? Has it, there is that kind of fear and threat that comes up all the time when we start talking AI, but do you see it more on that side or on the opportunity and the potential side?
Definitely on the opportunity and the potential side. I don't. In our industry, no one's profession is going to be taken away by AI. I don't see that. Definitely in the near future, and I'm optimistic that it's just going to help enhance all of us and all the people that want to be in the construction industry. I feel like the biggest thing is around credibility, and that's what we found. So with the project we're currently working on, there were some skeptics in the room for sure. But we've been able to, through our pilot program, they've been able to see the results, and we're very pleasantly proud that it's been very accurate. So it's about all the time and effort that goes into the front end to make sure that what you're putting together and machine learning that's going to take place, that you can put through the steps, understanding what your results that you want to have.
Another aspect to this too, to add to what Stuart mentioned, is when folks hear AI, some folks think it's going to replace people's work, but it's really support them to do the work more efficient. And that's what we always assure them as we go through all the phases. So through the pilot program, which has been very successful now, and they're excited about it, once they get the hang of it and, this is really helping me, A reviewer who takes months to review drawings can do this in a matter of hours, and it's not replacing anyone's jobs, because at the
Right.
end of the day, it's the people expertise. The expert that's reviewing the drawing has to sign off into this, but it's really saving them the hours with generative technology to support them with things that it might take them longer.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. When AI first came on the scene, I was a little slower than I'd like to admit in adopting it, but I call it my favorite brainstorm partner now. I do ChatGPT 7,000 times a day. I'm just like, hey, what are they gonna say here?
Yeah.
Give me an idea on this. I think it's great, but it does take that human to look at what the feedback that it's giving back to you and say, is this right? Is it valid? Kind of do a gut check on it. Because the information is only as good as what you put in. So you need that critical thinking component.
Absolutely, and what we're actually doing is already technologies that exist right now with generative design, that we can push it with a vision of tomorrow to make it do a transformational step towards efficiency. So it's really technologies that we know work for sure now, and works in our hand with a little bit intelligent risk, which Stuart will talk about. One of our core values at Windover is taking intelligent risk, because you can't really step into the future. Next year, when we're gonna sit together, we're gonna talk about technology thoughts that we're not aware of today.
Yeah.
So how we're gonna get there is really with taking intelligent risk. We know these things will work, but takes hard work and vision to make it happen.
Yeah. I love that phrase, intelligent risk. That's awesome.
Well, yeah, it's definitely, our team lives out the values. That's just one of them, but it's about empowering. And I think that's at the core of this, and making sure that people feel comfortable stepping out and making that decision that they typically wouldn't feel comfortable with. We bring people into the worry circle all the time if we're going to make those bigger decisions, but it's the confidence is part of our culture now. It's helped with our culture of innovation.
Yeah. I love that. I want to circle back on something that you said to Stuart and kind of tie a line to that. You said it's about building credibility with the technology as well too. How have you guys gone about building that credibility while creating this culture of innovation and being kind of forward thinking, not afraid to fail mentality?
Exactly. If you can see and watch something take place, it's like a pilot. It's like a pilot program. Once you see it taking place and taking shape, now all of a sudden you're understanding, okay, what are my benefits here? And you're weighing the benefit risk, and what are the risks of taking that step out there. Our teams recognize how we use technology and how it's going to benefit them, and now they're starting to think about, okay, let's find new ways to provide solutions for challenges on our projects. And then they're building up their own confidence, which is just cascades throughout the trades, throughout our workforce, clients, and our design partners, that they have a lot more comfort in what we're bringing to the table. So it's very fun. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, that's awesome. How do you deal with the skeptics in the room, whether they're at Windover or clients that embrace the "we've always done it this way" mentality?
For years now at Windover, we try to break the status quo by starting small. The solution shows that it works, not just to only talk about it in theories, but take the intelligent risk, do it, and then when folks, the aha moment, when our superintendents, and now to Stuart's point, we took it even further from our company to our community. And even on a global scale with some clients who trusted us to support them and to partner with them in innovation. So it's really all takes the trust is that you pick one solution, one small element, and grow it from there. That's how people start, if it works on that scale, it will work on a bigger scale. So step by step, we gain that momentum.
Yeah. I love that you guys are sharing those stories. I think that's one of the huge missing pieces in the construction industry, that as an industry at large, we do a bad job of sharing this success stories, not of the grand kind of unicorn projects, but of even just the day-to-day success stories of, this person was reluctant to embrace technology and they did it, and now they're a champion. I think the more we can make that more commonplace, the more people are going to embrace the tech and say, oh no, this isn't some technology made for multi-billion-dollar projects. You can do this in everyday cases.
Absolutely, it's scalable. And I mean, this conference, that's why I love this conference so much, because it is about sharing. And most conferences are, but this one particularly, because everyone is coming with different perspective, different scales, right? There's different prefab shops that are in totally different arenas as far as automation, but they're all sharing ideas, because we recognize that high tides will raise all the boats, and there's plenty of opportunity out there, and we're not stealing any work from anybody.
Right.
And we really want to make change in our industry. We know we have to make change. That's what we're pretty excited about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the opportunity, there's way more work out there than what the contractors today can actually do, that we need to get more efficient, and we need to kind of lock arms with everybody.
And back to the status quo elements, it takes really the whole company culture. So it's not only the technology group within Windover, it's a catalyst to push innovation throughout the organization, but you have the great superintendents who built a lot of prefab or modular projects, the great experienced project managers who built these kind of projects. And bit by bit, every project we learn something new. That's lessons learned, which is a process at Windover. So it really takes the whole organization to embrace this technology, because you can have the most powerful technology, but when you go suggest these ideas to project management or to super in some institutions, they would say, no, we've been doing this for years this way. But the way we did it is that we show it how it works on a smaller scale, and they say, oh. So next time they call and they say, oh, let's do it on this other project. So that's how our whole team got on board on that, and now we're pushing it through even our partners too.
No, that's awesome. I love that you guys are democratizing the innovation. I get frustrated with companies that are like, no, we have an innovation head, and they handle everything innovation. I'm like, well, that's great to have somebody heading up innovation. You need that, but it also needs to be everybody bought into the process as well too. It can't just be one guy
It's a
working
role
in a
to
silo.
push innovation.
Right.
To push innovation with VDC teams, with great super. So yeah, it takes a village.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. We do that within Windover, but it was, again, we had a great session yesterday with a bunch of executives, and everybody in that room wants to be transformational in their own little ways, and we know that collectively we can make an impact, but it's a small room, right? And that's the excitement. There's a lot of energy that came out of those sessions yesterday, and that's what jazzes us up to continue on and share.
Yeah. So where do you see the prefab movement in the next kind of 5 years?
5 years. I mean, what I'm seeing, the concept of the assembly or productization, and making sure that we can be design around certain components that are offsite built, and that to me is what's going to change how we build, and it's going to change how we obviously design and how our clients buy, right? And they can look at things a little differently. It's going to be a lot more efficient and a lot more certainty of outcome, the way I see it.
No.
I'm a huge believer in cross-industry innovation. A lot of the technologies and the innovation and the innovative solutions we've been utilizing in the last few years, especially this year, like digital twin, came really from aerospace and the automotive industry. So I expect that 2-3 years from now, the norm will be that we utilize this technology that's been working for years for automotive industry in our prefab framework and workflows, which already we've been doing. Like we've been utilizing now. Windover had been, we are residents at Autodesk Tech Center. We've been utilizing robotics. We've been utilizing Inventor and Fusion, which have been great softwares that been for years done for manufacturing.
Sure.
We utilize this technology in EEC to make more efficiencies and create these components that we can 3D print or do supported digital prefab or robotic arm work.
Yeah, I like that. So that brings up maybe another train of thought. Manufacturing, they are able to really systematize stuff because it's a very controlled environment. They're producing the same thing over and over and over again. How do we take kind of that mentality and bring it into a much more complex world of construction where it's not necessarily the controlled environment. It's not the one set thing every single time that you're producing. How do you get kind of inspired by manufacturing and pull that into construction?
It's a little bit of creativity in evaluating the project early on in the process, and it's not too late. We do it in pre-con when we view like that historic preservation project we talked about short, in one of the schools. We just finished it last month. We saw an opportunity, and when we showed the client that we can prefab all these architectural beautiful features inside all the trim, all the column heads, and all these beautiful things, with providing the main purpose of using innovation really is providing high quality combined with cost savings and efficiencies in the process. So we're able to, the client, once we showed them a sample of how this will work, they said, oh, I'm in. We're gonna do this for our entire building, for the floors we are touching. And it came out beautiful. Now when you put side by side what was the original one versus the prefab elements, it's the same. It's really hard to tell. So the more we can push really into evaluating early on these opportunities for prefab, it will reflect positively on cost savings and the quality, which is the most important thing for us.
One of the, and I'll just add to that, one of the things we saw and had a lot of discussion with yesterday is around assembling the team, really. And it's not just the clients, the designers or CM, it's your prefab, your trade partners, and understanding that every project's different. Program types require different elements but let's identify which elements are critical to the success of that project, bring those partners in early. And it's almost like an IPD type project where everyone sits around the table and we all solve the problems together. We all take on the risks together and we take on the rewards together. So that's where I see more of it going as well, is bringing in the downstream side suppliers or trade partners to the table early.
Yeah, interesting. So we're at Advancing Prefab. What's the power of an event like this? Why should people come to Advancing Prefab?
One of the main components here is really to, in our presentations, we really love to put case studies, a lot of case studies, because it's something to talk about theories and how things might work. But the beautiful thing is when you show a case study, even if it's on a smaller scale project, so someone in the room can say, oh, if it worked for them on that job, I can utilize it on my next project. That's what we love to share, and that's what we love also to see in the conference like that, which is good. Sharing ideas. That's how we can really push the industry forward. That's why we're here, in addition to meet all our good friends like you, and share ideas and talk about innovation. That's for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're talking about sharing, I mean, we're finding opportunities to have those discussions around what the challenges are. I saw a lot of discussions. Where are the challenges with what they're dealing with some of their manufacturing facilities? We have challenges on our side when we're assembling all these things on a job site. And when we start to talk about where our challenges are and how we can help each other with solutions, that's when there's a great forum for it here. And it's a very good open discussion. We keep on talking about it. It's about a collective view of just trying to change and transform.
Yeah.
And to the collective view that Stuart mentioned is a great point. We are working now, for example, on a modular, one of our public projects for modular construction. And we have the trades, we have the different components, right, of the team. In miles away, they're going to produce all these boxes, all these modular factor. And we have the MEB team, and we have Windover, the project manager. So the nice thing about sharing ideas, the more we can push innovation with the trades and our trade partners, the more that would reflect positively on our end product, as well as manufacturing. So it takes the whole, again, to the village concept here. It takes not only for CMs to be innovative or trade partners to be innovative, but also the whole ecosystem. And that's what we try to push. And that's what I love about this conference, that you have attendees from manufacturing, from trades, MEPs, and from companies like ours, which is really amazing to see the whole ecosystem here, and designers too.
Yeah, definitely. So as we seek to land the plane here, a couple kind of rapid fire questions for you. What does modeling the future, what does that look like to you?
Good.
Modeling the future.
Modeling the future.
It's definitely more efficiencies using the technologies that we all know right now, but use it with a vision of tomorrow, with a little bit creativity. Like for years we've been using Raafat certain way. Now we finally take it into another step with digital twin, like in tandem. Takes it a whole new level for a whole new facility managers to utilize it for years to come. So these little add-ons we can add as we go, as a collaborative effort as an industry, can really take us to much more efficiencies and much more supportive things like affordable housing, which I believe it's a combination of high quality with efficiencies and savings. So that's how we can really push our industry forward for modeling the future.
Nice. What is innovation? What does that mean to you?
Innovation is when we utilize the technology to offer a solution and tackle a challenge. That's when innovation comes. If we using the technology only to be cool, or that's not the innovation. Innovation is really when we solve a problem. So we, on weekly basis, we sit together with a field team, with project management, and we look for if there is any challenge, they reach out, and we have this challenge, and then we start thinking about the ingredients we have. We can do a laser scan with that job, with a drone lidar, and with a little bit of QA/QC in Navisworks. That's the solution. Then it mitigates risk. So innovation really happens when we are end up mitigating risk or providing certainty of outcome.
And I've always said it's a mindset.
Yeah,
Innovation's got to be a mindset, and it's not. And it's great. We're talking about tools that are going to help support the ConOps teams, but we try to spread it across our whole organization. We want everybody to be thinking that way, regardless. Efficiencies, however you can do it within your job, that's real important to us. Make it better is one of our values as well, and so that just plays in with taking intelligent risks, and so it's a mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, how do people find out more information of what you guys got going on at Windover or connect with you?
Well, you can always reach out to us via our website. We're very transparent about that. I can take emails, or Amr can take emails. And I think what it allows us to do is we're about sharing. Hopefully you know that. We've been talking about it for years now. And we're very open to creating a forum so people want to learn from us as much as we want to learn from them, and finding that opportunity.
Awesome. Last question for you. If I could give you all construction power, you could snap your fingers and innovate one thing, what would you pick to innovate?
More time savings in prefabrications. Like now, if you 3D print a big element, it will take some time. So maybe a more speed to market efficiencies. That's what I would love to do, because time of an essence, and it's really important. If we can deliver academic dorms faster, and Stuart had in his presentation yesterday a great example of that. There were a winter that was really snowing in Boston, like today here, and a snowstorm after snowstorm, and we couldn't really deliver this beautiful project for Endicott College unless we were doing it modular, and we did it modular. That's how every student had a dorm room on time. So modular, so time of an essence, and would love to increase even that speed.
Yeah.
My magic wand, if we have time for this, my magic wand is around the integrated design. I'll continue to talk about that. We will take it after we do our coordination, after the design process has gone through. So that's great. We have it at that end of the cycle of construction project, but bringing in our trade partners and manufacturers early in the process and trying to make it truly an integrated design. That's my dream. It's being done, don't get me wrong. I would just want to see it being done a lot more broadly.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks so much for taking the time again and joining the show. Look forward to next year for the
so much.
tradition now.
That sounds good.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Bye-bye.